Greetings everyone, welcome to my review of Sonic Universe 44, and it's the final part of the Secret Freedom Fighter arc. Yes, right now they're going underground to stop King Trolly Naugus from enacting his plan to take control of the council, and will they succeed? Well, let's find out. Also, I'm going to be doing this review a little differently because it cuts back and forth between what's going on underground and the whole council trying to ratify the new constitution, and I decided to group those elements together for clarity's sakes. Okay? Let's start with the events above ground, shall we? Outside the Royal Military Headquarters, the council members are locked out. The lock is busted, and Uncle Chunk cannot fix it, and this would not be a problem, according to him, if Nicole were not exiled. And of course, we find out that most of the council members did not agree to the exile, but it was unanimous. And if they cannot get in, they cannot ratify the Constitution. And we find out that it's the work of good old Larry Lynx's Jinx powers. And yeah, it would make sense for Larry Lynx to pretty much stall the council because, well, he's not really much of a fighter, but he does serve a purpose in this event. Anyway, Rotor comes along and helps unlock the door so they can get in and get the meeting started. However, they have a new problem. They cannot find the Constitution. They cannot find the paperwork. It's lost. Again, thanks to Larry Lynx's Jinx powers. But Cream manages to find them. So, as they're getting ready to ratify this Constitution, they are discussing whether or not the king should be here. And as they were about to, decide whether or not to have a quick vote on it, the power goes out. And again, Larry is to thank for this. And, well, that's it for that. Kind of short, but hey, nice little humorous moments in between what's really going on underground, shall we? So let's go underground and figure out how the team is going to defeat the ugly troll man's plan. Naugus prepares his ritual to take control of the council, and Jeffrey stands there practically unimpressed, or pretty much whatever. And Naugus orders his apprentice to keep an eye out for potential interlopers, and as he says this, the interlopers have arrived. And, well, Silver just merely tosses Naugus out of the way using his psychic powers, and the battle begins. It is Silver and Shard versus Naugus, the twins versus Jeffrey, and Elias planting explosives around the chamber. Now, Naugus throws pretty much all the elements around the two hedgehogs, but Silver just levitates them and uses them as a distraction while Shard spin dashes into Naugus. And Naugus tries to suffocate Shard, but Shard reminds him that he is a robot and blasts him with his arm cannon. Naugus then asks for his Chaos Emerald staff so that he can turn Shard into crystal. And while Jeffrey did throw him the staff, Silver intercepted and tossed the staff upward towards the ceiling and pretty much out of range for the battle. During the confrontation, Elias has finished the planting explosives and decided to help out against Saint Jerk. But during the ensuing struggle, Jeffrey unmasks Elias, and, well, Jeffrey's like, it's pretty obvious, and you've come a long way from that naive little prince. And yeah, remember, Jeffrey did manipulate Elias some time ago. And, well, essentially what he does afterwards is he gives Elias back his mask, and Jeffrey warns them that he's not going to go easy for round 2. Silver, on the other hand, is pretty much holding his own, and pretty much repelling all elements of earth and water back towards Naugus. And as he does this, he gloats that, this is nothing, I've beaten an Enerjack, your powers are nothing. And, well, in a way, that's technically true, because remember, in that alternate future, Enerjack did have Naugus as one of his trophies along the wall. But Naugus here counteracts with a mere thought, and the air turns into flames. But thankfully, Shard arrives and saves Silver. And Shard does what should have been done in the first place. Takes his arm cannon and blasts the goblet that contains Vale's bones to smithereens. And Naugus is like, he wants to try and salvage the spell, but the Wolf Twins denied him that. Elias then presses the explosives and destroys the chamber. And as the team makes their escape, the chamber collapses around Naugus, and he begs for Jeffrey to help. But instead of helping, he just turns around and walks off. Good for you. And Naugus then gets really mad. He mutates again and tries to trap the team in crystal prisons. Shard remarks that he is not going to get trapped underground again. Spin dashes a way out for the team, and Silver levitates the team out to safety. And Naugus, very, very, very mad that his plan has fallen apart, traps his apprentice and demands an explanation. Jeffrey then says, I was trying to follow them. And Naugus gets the idea of, must attack now, plan ruined. And then here's where I facepalm, like, ugh. Jeffrey explains that you could say that you were investigating underground, there was a collapse, and you saved the city. And of course, Naugus uses Chaos Emerald Staff to return to normal, and he's like, brilliant, good thinking, apprentice. And Jeffrey is like, yeah, I live to serve. Ugh. Jeez, Jeffrey, Skunk Man, grow a backbone, why don't you? Anyway, the mission is a success. There's this nice little montage with Harvey Who narrating about the sacrifice the team has to make. And there's this nice little montage of Elias peeking around the corner at his parents. And Larry sitting on a tree watching Penelope, Dylan, and Hamlin. And that makes sense because if you recall, the four of them were once members of a team together, the Substitute Freedom Fighters. So yeah, it'd be nice. It's nice for Larry to check up on his old teammates. Now, what I find interesting is Shard looking in at Sonic's family, and I get from the distinct impression that Shard pretty much wants this kind of life. He wants to have some kind of family belongingness. And, well, makes sense. I mean, he was somewhat modeled after Sonic. Meanwhile, underground in Secret HQ, Harvey, who has finished his detective work on identifying the traitor Silver's been looking for. And he's pretty much used the present and future versions of Antoine's journals and some other sources. And he pretty much has a big old piece of paper that has 4 pictures of the 4 candidates. You know, Sonic, Sally, Antoine, and Rotor. And using a red marker, he is pretty much crossing off the suspects one by one until one remains. And Silver's like, this is the traitor? And he's like, yes, and I'll explain why. Now, if you go back and forth between the picture Silver's holding, you see here that the X has bled through to the back. And at this point, unless evidence points to the contrary, it looks like Sally's the potential suspect. I mean, we've seen Harvey Who cross off Antoine right off the bat, so he's out. And yeah. But unless it's an artist error, or they're trying to, give us a Silver's holding it up wrong and stuff, so far it's looking like Sally is the traitor. And I know what you're thinking. It's because Sally is a robot now and doing things for Eggman, but there has to be more to this. There's got to be more going on to this. So, yeah, and hopefully this whole traitor plotline will be resolved very soon. if I were to describe this issue in one word, it would be anti-climactic. Because, well, I would think the secret freedom fighters would have a little bit more trouble taking down Naugus, but no. Like that, Naugus' plan is ruined. But then, of course, you do have a psychic hedgehog from the future and a metal Sonic that just won't die. But I was expecting more of a challenge myself. But yeah. But it also goes to show how Silver has improved since he's gone up against Enerjack in his own story. So, but Silver has to be careful because you don't want to get too cocky and make mistakes, because that could be your downfall. Plus, I like Shard a lot. I hope he sticks around after this arc. And yeah, I do like the funny moments how Larry Lynx's Jinx powers pretty much screws up the Council's plans to ratify the Constitution, keeping them safe from Naugus' mind control. Now, I do have to say that ever since Naugus became king, he's pretty much, well, he's pretty much a loser with a capital L. Because, first of all, he failed to stop the Battleburn Armada invasion. He pretty much couldn't stop the formation of 2 new Freedom Fighter teams, and that's thanks to the Council, by the way. And he couldn't repel another attack by Eggman, and that's all because of the voices in his head interfering in the beginnings of his mutations. And well, you know, I mean, I admit he was a bit cunning trying to get to become king, but now that he is king, looks like things are not going so well for him. And speaking of which, I was hoping that this would be the end for Naugus. I mean, of course, Jeffrey had to ruin it because, well, to make it some kind of alibi, you know, the whole underground thing when Naugus went to attack. I kind of wanted Naugus to, you know, attack, go on a mad rampage. That way the people can see him for what he truly is, and, well, get rid of him as king, because would you really want this psycho to be king? I still can't believe these idiots voted him in. But regardless, King Trollface is a loser with a capital L. That's all I have to say. And Jeffrey, buddy, you're gonna have to do something because, well, as you can see, with Naugus' plan up in smoke, not to put a pun on the situation, he's going to try and do more desperate things because, well, he can't perform his mind control spell. He cannot redo the Ixis Resurgence, well, at this time, and, well, yeah, so, yeah. And I should have said this back in my issue 41 review, that this arc pretty much makes Sonic Universe the longest spin-off book of the Sonic comics. Yeah, surpassing the Sonic X book, and yeah. But I just want to say that in the end, this book was okay at best. But thankfully, this whole Secret Freedom Fighter thing is about done. And when we get to 241, hopefully the aftermath will be worth it. And we'll move on to bigger and better things. So overall, I'm just going to give this issue a 7 out of 10. I mean, what else is there to say about the issue? And yeah, well, I will be going now. Thank you for watching this review, and have a good day.